um, make sure we maximize all of the time that we have. And we want to make sure we get on out of the way for choir rehearsal. I gave y'all warning last week. We're going to move around a little bit. And so we're going to just kind of go through a few things before we get started to go to our groups. We're going to look at I briefly mentioned last week, the triads, which is like the areas where they kind of not couple, categorize the different personality types. So we're going to look at the first one, and that was the gut. And you going to read it? Somebody, Megan, you going to read? Megan's going to read the gut. This is the ones, the eights, and the nines. Do we have any ones here today? Just really quick by show of hand. All right. We got any eights? Any nines? Okay. Any nines here tonight? I think last week we only had one nine. Okay. So, Megan, would you read the gut? Read to our gut people.
When they encounter life, their first reaction is to do something and tend to act before thinking. They take in and respond to life instinctually or at the gut level. Also, they tend to express themselves honestly and directly. These numbers can be often driven by anger. Ones internalize it, nines forget it, and eights externalize it. As a result, they often have a desire for justice. Ones do not want to see others overlooked or unheard. Eights often want to step in and protect. Ones want to address or fix to avoid injustices.
So y'all remember we talked about that last week, right? And so I'm just doing a review. I'm doing a review. Some of y'all smiling, some of y'all doing the opposite of smiling, but we're gonna address that too. The next group. The next group is that the heart triad. That is the number 2 triad. I always be saying that. It's 2, 3, and 4. So we have any twos here? I think I'm looking at twos, threes, fours. Okay, got a good working group tonight. All right, read. You can read.
When they encounter life, their first reaction is to feel something and can be overly emotional at times. they 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 each take in and relate to life from their heart and are more image conscious than other numbers. These numbers are often driven by feelings. Twos focus outwardly on the feelings of others and want to be seen as the most supportive, caring, and selfless person. Threes have trouble recognizing their own and other people's feelings because it could hinder accomplishing a goal or a task. They want to be seen as the most successful, admirable, or accomplished person. Fours concentrate their attention inwardly on their own feelings and want to be seen special, different, or unique.
Okay, and so overview. Anybody that's new to anybody, we review. All right, next group. Head. It's the head people, thinkers. We have any fives in here? And any sixes? Sevens? All right. Okay.
When they encounter life, their first reaction is to think and plan before acting, sometimes overthinking. These numbers are often driven by fear. Fives externalize it, sixes internalize it, and sevens forget it. As a result, they seek security through the mind. Fives seek it in knowledge and understanding. Seek it over planning and having a support system. Sevens seek it by avoiding the internal and focusing on the experiences of the external.
All right. So that is our review. And I think that we have every number represented here tonight except 9. Did I miss a 9? Is there a 9 here that I missed? Okay. Do you care to share your diagram? Well, I want to remind you all that we did talk about last week how this is just, our gauge. This is kind of what we're saying is pretty much our dominant personality. And when you have something like that, you probably have a mixture of both of those things are very prevalent in you. Is there anybody else that like consistently had something that was either neck and neck or equal? And so that does happen. So it's not anything wrong with you. In those cases, I would say for the purposes of these Bible study lessons, you just gonna have to pick one. and it's whoever you and Jesus say you are. And it's okay. So what we're gonna do, I thought about this after the fact, so I didn't put it on the slide. I probably should have put it on the slide, but I did. I'm going to give you all some instructions for our groups. So we may have some late people that come late. And so as a result, they're just going to have to deal with it. That's the best I could say. So once again, I want to clarify, we ain't have no nines, right? All right. So this is what I'm going to do. I am going to ask that when we get up to transition to our groups, I don't want to micromanage y'all. Y'all just kind of look at how it's set up. I think we had the most ones. Find your people and find you a spot. And y'all gonna have 15 minutes to do what I'm about to ask you to do. All right. The first thing you need to do is go to these back tables and get your sheet that represents your number. Now, last week I noticed everybody was lined up. So we tried to do two tables. Y'all see where Braden is? That's the table that has 1 through 5. Just grab you a sheet. You ain't got to share with nobody. It's yours to take home, take a picture of, throw in the trash, give it to a neighbor, whatever you want to do with it. Just, it's yours. Okay? I know everybody not fond of paper, so I didn't want to give y'all too much paper, but some stuff, we just can't read it all. And if it's good to you, you just kind of want to look at it a little more. So on the second table, it's 5 through 9. And we had a few people come in. We still ain't got no 9s in here, right? Okay. All right. So that's the first thing you're going to do. You're going to grab your paper. You're going to find your people. And then when y'all get in that group, you're going to decide who your group leader is. And you need to do that real fast. Once you decide who your group leader is, I have a handout for your group. I want you all as a group to read this. I want you to discuss whatever you want to discuss about this, about your sheet, about ain't nothing, about show is, whatever you want to say. They got us mixed up. They got me pegged. Whatever you want to say. It ain't even formal. It's just, girl, I ain't know you was this. Bro, you really. Whatever y'all want to say, we ain't listening. Ain't no right or wrong. It's your group and it's your 15 minutes to do whatever you want to do with it. But whatever you do with it, somebody got to come up here and tell us what y'all did with it. No right or wrong. It's just sharing. This is a way to kind of maximize our individual personalities, because if we try to talk about all 9 as a whole group every time, we're going to always miss something. So this is an opportunity to dig just a little bit deeper. Y'all know what y'all going to do in your group? And whoever your spokesperson is, going to have 2 minutes to talk. That's it. So keep that in mind when you're picking somebody. Ma'am?
Are we going by number or by heart, head, and gut?
I'm going to do number. I wasn't sure. I needed to see who was going to be here. I'm just being honest. But I was mentally prepared to do it either way. But I think we have enough people to do numbers. I think we have enough people to do numbers, and we don't have a 9 here. And I'm going to, there is one person I need to talk to, and I think I'm going, any 6s walked in. I think I'm going to have my 5s and 6s be together. Okay. Y'all good? Tamika, what's your number? Okay, I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't have put you on the spot, but I got almost everybody memorized, but y'all got a group. Y'all got a group. All right. It took me a while to explain that. Y'all still remember? Y'all still remember? If y'all walking around looking lost, that's all right. I'm gonna stay right here so y'all can come ask me. Now, what again? If go. Get your paper, find your people, find your spot, have your person for your group, come get your card.
And for the ones that's watching us online via Zoom, this is going to probably take about 15 minutes. And so we don't really have you all in a group, but if you all can kind of stay sturdy when they get ready to do their overview, then you will be able to kind of connect with the number that you are. Okay, thank you. Sister Green.
Don't forget, once you get your paper and find your people and find your spot, come get your card. So does everybody have their card from me? If you don't have your card from me, we waiting on you. Kayla with the fives. So the card that I gave you is supposed to be an indication of the Bible character that your personality most mirrors. So that's another interesting piece. So the card that I gave you is supposed to be a mirror, indication of the Bible character that your personality mirrors. So that's another interesting piece. That's why I say you got to have somebody that's going to read and talk and kind of take the leader role. So y'all go now. We 5 minutes in. Okay, y'all have about 5 minutes to wrap up your discussion and prepare your person to come up. Any group feel like you need more than 2 minutes? Okay, well, I give y'all a total of 5. That's it. So I added on 3.
Is it unanimous? It's unanimous.
All right. We are ready. Unless the ones are in strong opposition, we'll just go in order. Y'all all right? Y'all all right with it? So
And if y'all don't mind, we want you all to
Yeah.
come up here in this mic so we can have our
sorry.
virtual audience just be able to see y'all.
So we're just gonna ask you all to do this.
We have one in California, so.
Give them the attention while they're up here, because you may be strongly connected to somebody in this group and you need to hear what they're saying. All right.
Okay, we are here, well, I'm here to represent our group for the ones, and our discussion, we talked about, quite a few different things, but, most of us kind of agreed on our urge or our sense to be productive, to be able to do things a certain way. We went into the discussion of somewhat being controlling and having the ability to where we like things done our way. And if people don't do it the way in which we want it done, if it presents a problem for us, someone even went as far as to say that you could either do it this way or you can go somewhere else. So that wasn't on me, but somebody else said it. But I can understand and I can agree with that, even though one thing that was a little interesting, even though I like order and I like to follow, I'll give directions. Sometimes it's hard for me to follow directions. So if someone gives me some directions, I may follow them a little bit, but at some point I'm gonna veer off and do it my own way. So there were some other of us in the group that began to say the same thing. One thing, I'll just say this to wrap up, our person who we identify with in the Bible was Paul. And as we read, it talked about the difference between when he was Paul and when he was Saul. And a lot of that I know I can personally attest to in my life, a difference before I knew God. And then once I knew him, and a lot of this talked about how I felt even when I got out of church, and honestly, the way I felt before I even came here a few weeks ago. So to get here and experience and you see this, but to be able to say how this relates to your life on a day-to-day basis and to see these connections is just amazing. So, but that was us for the one.
Great job.
All
Great
right.
job.
Give it up
Great.
to team one. This self-awareness is great. You know, it's great for us, and it's great to let other people know, you know, where we're coming from. All right, group number two.
Okay, I'm representing the twos. We didn't really specifically discuss what we were gonna say over here, so I'll just share some of the things that we talked about. I'm gonna start with our Bible character who we're most like, and that's Martha from the Bible. And just to kind of give a summary of the information that we read in regards to that, coming from Luke chapter 10, verses 38 through 42, there was a instance in which Jesus and the disciples came to visit, and Martha busied herself with making sure that Jesus and his disciples had everything that they needed, while Mary sat at his feet and just, bask in Jesus's glory. And in one instance, Martha even states, Jesus, don't you see me doing all this work? Why isn't it Mary isn't helping? And then even Jesus had to tell her, that instead of you being busy with trying to, make sure that we had everything that we needed, this was a time for you just to bask in my glory. And so we talked about how from an early age, well, we were talking about how as mothers, all of us are mothers in our group, how we feel that, with our children and all of them, they have grown children. I don't have grown children yet, but how, even with their children being grown, they still feel like they've got to put their children first. And so I even asked the question, did they think that maybe they started off, have been twos since they were young, or maybe did they become twos when they became mothers? And we kind of discovered, common amongst all of us, that from a young age, we were tasked with responsibilities. Like, we've been doing things for others since we were young girls. And I thought about last Wednesday when I left here, I got up and stated that I didn't have responsibilities on me, but I actually did. And I guess I just didn't know any different. I can remember by the age of 12, I was cooking for me and my siblings, and I had to write out a menu of what I was going to cook every day and make sure the food was prepared. And so again, I guess at the time, I didn't really see any different, but I was tasked, with a big responsibility at such a young age. And so we're the helpers. We tend to put others first. And we kind of concluded that it's okay for us to put ourselves first. We can't pour from an empty cup. It's okay for us to go out with our girlfriends or take time to get our hair done, our nails done. It's important for us to take care of ourselves first versus always putting other people first.
All right. Thank you, Tools. Thank you, Tools. Woo, Tools. Y'all ready, threes?
So it was only 2 adults and we had 2 teenagers. And of course, they didn't want to talk. I didn't want to talk. I was trying to get one of them. But anyway, here we go. So for threes, we are the achieving type. We have a need to succeed. And so we read over everything, and I'm going to kind of say what we agreed about and what we kind of didn't agree on the paper that fit us. But we said that it was very true that we have a need to feel valued and worthwhile. We also are success oriented. We all agreed about that. We're optimistic and energetic. Things that we did not agree about was being vindictive. Well, uh, in our before we got all the way saved. We did say that we could be vindictive. So the teenagers, they not yet, but sister and I, we said we used to be, yes. And also we don't necessarily seem to be overly competitive all the time, but in certain arenas we can be overly competitive. As far as the careers go, it was very interesting. It said that we are more likely to go into the helping field, such as teaching, social service, and health field. And Sister Megan is in the health field, and I'm an educator, so we thought that was very interesting. And we also all agreed that we were hardworking and very organized when it came to our areas and getting things done. The boys said they were not organized yet. I said maybe that comes with age and once they get a little bit older. Oh yeah, one thing about it, it said that threes were attractive. I'm trying to find exactly what it said, and they both agreed that yes, they were threes when it said that for. So it also said that we draw energy from being successful, and that once we get a project, we put our all into making sure that we get it done. One thing that we did agree upon is that failure for us, if we know that we're not going to be successful at something, we won't take that task on because there's like hurting our self-esteem. And kind of we talked about last week that shame factor. We don't want to be shamed. So if we know something we're not gonna can't accomplish, then we're not gonna take that on. The person we had for the Bible was Moses. And we could definitely relate to that, especially when Moses did not have the confidence in his speaking ability to get up before the people on the stage. And it said that God allowed Moses to experience success with Pharaoh, but then he failed when I'm go back to it. Let's see. In the wilderness, when he was supposed to bring water from the rock by speaking to it, but he was frustrated and he hit it instead. And it said that Moses did experience some shame from that, from not being able to lead the people into the promised land. So we could see, how we fit into characteristics of having what Moses, the same characteristics that he had. Last but not least, one thing we all disagreed about was, it said a pitfall was that threes can be vain, very vain. It said about external things like your clothing and things like that. We didn't feel like that fit to us because, neither one of us felt like we had to have name brand. I don't know about somebody else. But because I do name brand on the budget, if it's on the sale rack, but I don't have to like go out there.
You care a lot about your image. And
I do want to present myself.
All right,
So
so
those
those
are the
threes,
threes,
all right.
I'm agree.
All right, good job, threes, fours.
Okay, y'all, the Lord is still working on the board. Okay. We will make them be just as dramatic as the paper says. We agree about all of the good things this paper said about it, and none of the bad things. It's just, okay, so we are very expressive, we passionate. We do like the spotlight, but not in the way that this paper suggests. We just want to be seen, acknowledge for the work or for what we bring. Sometimes, I know in my case, you just feel like you had a talent, but you come to this thing where this is my talent, making people feel good. And sometimes those things are not as popular as being a great musician or being a great singer, but this is what I bring, so that's one of the things that we agree on. Song, they really had a problem with this song. They didn't see themselves in song at all. And they still did not get the reference, the correlation between tall and full. But as I tried as the leader of this group, help them with.
I got a microphone, I'm coming.
We tried to help them with. As we do, God has given us so many things. And it's not the things that people readily acknowledge. So Saul was on top of the world because he was king, first king. And one of my fours was upset that they didn't have a song about him, but they had a song about David, the little song that they sang as David came back. So those were the type of things, and one of them felt like this wasn't encouraging, but yet a warning. And sometimes if we are real fours, we all the way down the street, we need the warning. We don't need no more encouraging. We done everything we wanted to do. It's time to bring us back. And the warning is really the only thing that turns us around. If you are
So it was a warning.
I felt like it was a
We
warning.
got, Pastor, the fours need counseling. Have a seat, ma'am. Please.
All right, number five. Number five. All right, I'm sorry, Brother Anthony. I told him 2 or 3 minutes.
I have this happen. I don't like they were on one accord, right leg was right leg. I think that's how that happened. But we are the fives, and we definitely identify with being a problem solver. But we did not so much agree with being stingy or negative. We said we did not share with those negative attributes. But
very analytical, very persevering, sensitive, and we tend to give our wisdom to others. We connected most with Thomas in the Bible. And I said, what gave us Thomas? Thomas had some doubt one time, and they gonna call him Doubting Thomas. They gonna change his name. We all have doubt every once in a while, but I think that goes for our overthinking nature. I think that's where that could be put together. And they was like, when Jesus came back, everybody was there except for Thomas. They was like, what Thomas? Thomas like, I don't know, all that mess going on over there. I ain't trying to until it all calm down, then I'll come back. So that's me. When things get calm, Jesus was like, it's me. Oh no, show me your hands, not trusting, So that's that I can absolutely identify. And I don't think I missed. Oh, there was one thing that I did want to say. The primary experience of fives is a sort of emptiness. Hence, they long for fulfillment. And we definitely all agreed with that. And we said that we tend to get fulfillment from filling other people's cups. And so we tend to overlove and overpour and overgive. And we sometimes feel like we get used. But what I'm learning is you are in control of your own picture. And sometimes you give reciprocal, and then sometimes God tell you to pour a little more that they ain't gonna never be able to get back. But that's not everybody. Everybody is not our project. Everybody is not for us to fix. And we have to learn to use our discernment. Right.
All right, five. All right. Number 6. Oh, they coming together.
All right, Mary, come on.
There is strength in numbers, is what we believe.
2 mics. As you all know, me and Kayla, we are very loyal. We are warming, we're sweet. We're always communicating with everybody. I feel like those pointers are us. What you think? We were a little confused about testy.
Yes, we didn't really know what that was. We're like,
I was like,
testy?
wait, what
We
do you
didn't
mean
know
testy?
testy. So we
But-
just
Who want to tell them?
But then
Who gonna tell them? Like the TikTok say, you want to tell them?
But then when we had to really think about it, I'm like, wait a minute. No, Kayla, I think I am a little testy.
I Googled it.
What it say?
I'm only testy when I'm tested. Cause if I'm chilling, then I'm not gonna be testy. But if I'm tested and you take me there, he ain't through with me yet. So
And
I
I
might
feel
take
like the more I get older and I have all these kids, I'm like, okay, strike 1, strike 2. Strike 2.
for sure.
One thing that we said, this is us, when it said, we read basic fear of being without support and guidance. And I feel like our families are very important to us. And if our family, like if we didn't have our families, I don't know what I would do.
I don't even want to find out.
I don't even want to think about it. I might
Me
start
neither.
crying up here.
Hyperventilate.
Like,
So,
yes,
but yeah,
and let's see.
the buddy.
Yes, I feel like I'm very friendly. I'll talk to anybody and I'll joke with anybody. And I feel like I was that person, for example, growing up in school, like if there was a bullying someone, I was always that person that wanted to, come and talk to that person. Not, oh, I'm gonna follow them because they're bullying that person. I always look past whatever, situation they were in. Or back then they joke, if you had some buddy shoes on or something, baby, they were gonna talk about your shoes.
Yeah,
You
they
had
still
some
doing it.
holes in your shirt, if your hair wasn't combed, like they did all of that. And I was always
that person that wanted to
The little
talk.
kid, but
Yes,
I'll be about to cry, like, if I saw a kid in the cafeteria sitting by themselves.
yes.
If I saw somebody getting bullied, I don't care what I was doing, I would go on the playground. You need to be nice to her because she didn't do anything to you. I don't care, but like, you're not about to do that. You know what I'm
It
saying?
says on here the defender.
The defender.
Defender.
And our Bible person was Peter. And it was said at the Last Supper and it talked
Peter.
Peter.
Uh-huh.
Peter.
Pita. Pita.
Pita. But it was said in the Last Supper, and it was just talking about how God told him he would deny him 3 times. He was like, I ain't gonna do that. You know, you like you my homeboy. I got you forever. You know,
Right.
he locked in. But you know, life happened, and he didn't have God in his. He didn't have that relationship with God, and he got lost.
Mm-hmm.
So he did deny him 3 times.
Mhm.
And I think that with 6s, we can be very anxious natured.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like he was just anxious. He didn't have his light, which was God. He didn't have his relationship, his
guidance.
connection with them. So he
Okay.
got lost, which led to the denials, the 3. But once he got with God again, got back right, God gave him another chance because he's a forgiving God.
Yes,
Amen.
he is.
Kinda
Yes,
God
he
we
is.
serve. Hallelujah.
Yes.
And so when he got him back right, he gave him another chance. He fulfilled his purpose and his assignment that he was put on this earth to do. And so I definitely can relate with that. So
Right.
All right, good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, 6. That's the what y'all say y'all was? Defenders.
So I took it twice. The first time it said that I was a 1, so 1 and 6.
I think they're 6s. The thing that I ain't tell everybody else's, so number 7. Come on.
Hey, everybody. I'm representing the 7th group. We are the life of the party. Yeah, we are spontaneous, we versatile. One of the biggest things that we are fun loving. We're productive, we're enthusiastic, we're confident, we're charming. I'm charming, ain't I, baby? Yeah. And we're curious. Some of the things they say that we are worse at, they says we are narcissistic, which I don't agree with. Rebellious, I do agree with that because a lot of times I like to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it. We can be possessive, which I agree with. If it's mine, don't touch it. We can be restless, which means, your mind is just constantly wandering, or you could be physically restless. The person that we related to mostly in the Bible was Solomon. As you know, Solomon was the king in the Bible. He had the opportunity to ask God for whatever he wanted. And instead of asking for fame or riches, he asked for wisdom, which helped him build the kingdom that he was over. It says one of our biggest fears is of being deprived of pain. And it basically is saying that 7s like to push pain deep within their minds and try to use joy to overshadow our pain and not deal with our trauma, which I don't agree with that anyway. But it says one of our basic desires is to be satisfied and content and having our needs fulfilled. It says that 7s are the best in the relationships because we're lighthearted, generous, outgoing, caring, and fun. We like to introduce our people, our friends, into new opportunities, new experiences. And it says the fruit of the spirit that we most connect with is joy. And that's about it. That's all we talked about.
All right, 7. I can see that 7. And we don't have any 9s here, so 8 is gonna be our last group to share tonight. 8.
Say the best for last. Thank y'all. If y'all want, tap in, y'all can. So we are the 8s. Okay. We're known as the powerful, dominating type. Somebody said, "Oh yes." I'm glad y'all.
We just an
recognize it.
amen corner,
Yes,
that's
yes,
all.
I appreciate y'all.
self-confident, decisive, willful, and confrontational. Now, we ain't really agree with the confrontational. You know, we like to just be straightforward on things. But so that part that says we're best at is being direct. We loyal, we agree with that. We gonna cut for you if you know throughout it all, you know. But do not lie to us. Okay? Do not lie to us. Because we give you the opportunity to be straightforward and let us know. Because we straightforward people. We just want it straight. No gray areas. Just give it to us black and white, uncut. Ain't no need to go around beating around the bush. None of that. Just come on with it. What I don't think we agree with us being insensitive. We blunt. It's a difference. Okay? We blunt. You know? But we care. We so loyal, we care. We care about your feelings. We don't want you, you know, we may come off as okay, it may come off insensitive because you may be just sensitive. That's just what it is. So toughen up. That's what toughen up. You gotta have some thick skin. Like the world we living in, you gotta have some thick skin, people. Okay. It's like we like to be in charge. I mean, yeah, we do. I mean, I'm getting a little good area, but people always want to try to say we got like little man syndrome, we got Napoleon syndrome, we think we can conquer everything. And yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. We'll take on that. Let me see. It says the actual energy of eights is not anger or rage, although sometimes it can seem that way. Rather, it is a passion, okay? Passion and total commitment to truth, life, and justice. Because I feel like if you get all that, you're going to be less stressful. You know, everything be smooth and everything. So I feel like we agree to that. And I do feel like we do protect the weak. So we don't want you to be soft now. You got to have some oomph. Okay? Some oomph. Yeah. It says the fruit of our spirit is innocence. We take it as, you know, like a child, we like to protect, you know. So we feel like we loyal, we give our all to you, and we wanna be that protector. So child, our person was Samson. Oh, now first when I thought when we saw Samson, I was like, well, dang, Samson. Man, think he got caught, he got blinded, he died. But then another part where it said he had lust. And I feel like people go into lust, they think automatically sex wise, you know, but you can lust after a lot of different things. You can lust after having a job that you want so bad. You can, you know, lust after what somebody else may have that you putting it before God. So I feel like that part was an eye opener for me. Cause like I said, you don't think about it in that sense, but like you like, okay, can you kind of get a hold of yourself? But and I mean, he was a strong person, like physically, but he was weak in the lustful part. So it can kind of go hand in hand. But in the end, even though he did die, it was a sacrificial death. Okay. So, you know, I feel like you need to sacrifice yourself. That's showing you having that power and that strength to, you know, be able to care for other people. You know, sometimes you got to sacrifice yourself. So some of these things, we agree with it for 8. It was something else I was gonna say, but
Praise the Lord.
yeah,
Good
thank you.
job.
Thank you.
You did very good.
All right, give it up for 8. We didn't have any 9s here, but 9s are known as the peacemakers. They tend to be laid back and accommodating. They're the group that people say are motivated to just keep the peace and merge with others to keep from having conflict. Anybody live with a 9? Know a 9? Agree. All right, y'all give everybody a hand. Now, these that we gave you all,
We got some Sunday school teachers in here.
they
We're gonna
came
bring
from
that
this
back.
book called The Bible Promises for the Enneagram. I couldn't afford to buy all of y'all one, but you could order this on Amazon and it's $12.99. I ain't got nothing to lose or gain from it, but it really is a good book. And it tells you, I just gave y'all one page, but it goes into your type. It tells you about the key challenges. It tells you about your needs, your strengths, your weaknesses. And then what I like the most about it is it gives you scriptures. So all of these personality types, there's a healthy you and an unhealthy you. And the more you dig into this, you know, for some of us that are like, that's not me. Well, think about when you're low or when you're high. Like I'll just use this for example, like with the ones, you know, if you're in a good, healthy place, you're just trying to do things the way they need to be done. But if you're not in a good place, you may be a bit overbearing and controlling. And so, like with the sixes, you may just be aware and on top of things. I'll use this example. I like to give my kids all the time. There's a difference between being weather alert and weather afraid. So sometimes when sixes are in an unhealthy place, the sky's falling, you know. But when they're healthy, maybe they're just a bit more aware of things that need to be paid attention to in detail than the other personalities. But this book is really good, y'all. I mean, it's like gives you scriptures for when you're overwhelmed, when you recognize that your behavior is getting off track, and it just really breaks it down. So I recommend. But like I said, I think everybody did a good job. I think everybody did an awesome job. And we are going to close out with these. Did I go in the wrong? Oh, I'm in the right. You had already done that. My bad. We're going to close out with our takeaways, and I'm not going to read them all, but we're all going to put them up in case you all want this the time. Get your phones out. Everybody who is interested in taking this with you, this is your weekly takeaway to bring you into next week. Because as we get ready for next week, we are going to learn how to get along. We've talked about ourselves. We ought to be self-aware. We ought to have good understanding, and we ought to know what we think we are and what we think we're not. So all the ones that want your picture, got your picture? All right, let's go to twos. I'm putting these slides up so that you all can take a picture with those and meditate on your scriptures and have your kind takeaway. This is not about what you aren't. This is about what you are and what you need to remember. And so we're going to let everybody take a picture of their slide. Every two that wanted it, got it. Can we move on to three? And I hope that everybody got something out of this tonight that you can take away, that you can share. And next week, can we move on to fours with the slides? Number fours, we're going to talk about relationships and our personalities and getting along and trying to understand each other and not making excuses and not expecting other people to cater to us because of who we are, but maybe taking the approach to understand who they are and buying into giving and taking. There is a healthy balance. All right. Any fives want to get a picture? Any fives? All right. Six, y'all want a picture? Or y'all number? Nisha, send it on to Kayla. You got it. And of course, we have a virtual audience. I know you can probably take screenshots. Let's go on to the sevens. And sevens, y'all got y'all picture? Y'all good? Eights. And I noticed that some of you are taking pictures of more than one, and I applaud you for that because it's not just about you. And last, we don't have a 9 in the building, but somebody might love a 9. So let's put the 9 up. And y'all give yourselves a round of applause. I think we did great tonight. I'm gonna let Pastor talk and close us out. Anybody, before I give him the mic, I ain't gonna ask nobody else to talk, but I am gonna ask y'all. this. As you looked at the different groups, not your group, if that spokesperson seemed like the poster child for what they were saying, their personality type was, and you was thinking, yeah, that's her, yeah, that's him. If you just thought maybe they was in the right group, just stand up. I'm standing up. I just thought as some of the people were sharing their group types, that's who they were, and maybe not some of the things they were saying in the moment, but just knowing what the personality types say about that person and the relationship that you have with them, maybe even outside of church. Yeah, some of us are who we think we're not.
All right, give yourselves a round of applause. We have some very talented and articulate and smart and anointed people. So we're going to hopefully have opportunities for you all to be able to minister. Several announcements. Tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday at 7:00, we're having our Ames conference, our district Ames conference, and that's going to be at Harvest Temple, 1633 Benton Road. Sister Kakia, did you have an announcement in reference to your activity?
Okay, hello, everybody. I have two announcements, actually. The first announcement, Powder Room, yay, Powder Room on June the 28th at 6. The sign-up sheet is full. If you haven't signed up and you want to, you still have time. Put your name on the back page. And an announcement went out with my Cash App on it, because a lot of people were saying they wanted to Cash App me. So that's fine. If you have cash, I'll take cash. But I am taking payments at this time, so that we can go ahead and secure everything, the food and everything that we have to do. Sister Tamika's business is known as the Paint Pad, and she's the one that's going to be hosting our painting session. And so she has 2 designs for us to pick from. So if you signed up, or if you're signing up, put your name under which design that you want, so she'll know how many to prepare for each of the different paintings, and it's on the table. So please do that. The other announcement is we are getting ready for our youth recognition and graduation service. It's going to be on the 3rd Sunday, which is July 16th. In our 8:30 service, we're going to recognize our youth and our graduates. That's going to be our high school and college graduates as well. We want all youth that are attending school, all school age youth, to be recognized. So I know a lot of times we put emphasis on honor roll and, things like that. But if your child received improved conduct, perfect attendance, whatever, it doesn't matter. We want to make sure that all of our youth are recognized on that Sunday. And so I have a form. It's real simple, but you'll put your child's name on there, mark what area, like elementary, middle, high, and then write down what they were recognized or accomplished in school for, and just sign the bottom. You're signing because we're going to take pictures and put it on our website. But the forms are in this folder to be on the table as well. So if you want to just grab a form and take it home, bring it back and stick it in the folder, so that we will have the information. And again, it's on our 3rd Sunday in July. Sister Jermaine, you want to say something about the? No, not yet. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, and we thinking about doing something real creative. We'll talk with you all. Also, you all, for your self-study, we have these Sunday school books. We don't have Sunday school officially. That's something we've been praying about and trying to figure out. But we do have these Sunday school books here, so you can just kind of read in your own time, devotional time, and they're going to be in the back. They're free to you to use. Any other announcements? Okay, everyone, please stand. You can make your announcement, Jermaine.
Yeah, we just had one high school graduate this year. All right. If y'all can, give me these cards back. And if you picked up any of those little small cards from last week, I'm missing 3. So, you know, it could have been on accident. That's what my nephew say, on accident. So if you have one of those little cards from last week and your cards from tonight, just make sure you give them back to us. And I look forward to seeing you all on next week.
Amen. Let's bow our heads. Dear gracious Father, we just thank you so much for this lesson. You have made us in your image and we are wonderfully made, but we thank you for allowing us to really dig deeper into our hearts and our minds so we can grow to be more like you. Dear Father, give us traveling mercy down the dangerous highways. Help us to make it to our destination safely. We release our legions of angels of protection to encamp around us and our families, both near and far. In Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen.